Who says the IELTS exams is easy is a big liar. But I think I might, or I have been able to get the tips and tricks in how to pass these exams. I was able to study within 5 days as a first-time test taker, and I passed these exams. I got a very good score. I got a score of 7.5 overall, 7.5. And hello, welcome to Two Boys Media. This is your boy Kofi, and welcome to my channel again. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel, like and share. I need you guys to subscribe. So let's go. Let's talk about it. IELTS exams. IELTS, the overall, or the almighty IELTS exams. This is the exams where people have been taking 7-8 times before passing. This is the exams that's changing people's life. This is the exams that's causing people to have panic, anxiety. And I think I have hacked it because this is my first time of taking the IELTS, and when I came, someone might say that, oh, you're in the UK, you should have taken the IELTS. No, I took OUT, and when I was coming here, I think going through visa and immigration, and you need IELTS, I used NARIC back then. So yes, exams is very, very important. If you are from, or if you want to work in an English speaking country, you need this IELTS, or you need an English exams, especially if you are not from a native English speaking country. Like from Ghana, Nigeria, we speak English, but that's our official language. We speak it in schools and this thing, but it's not native to us, it's foreign to us. So traveling to a country that speaks English, you're going to be required to take some kind of English exams, and mostly we go for the IELTS exams, or the IELTS test. And the IELTS test comprises of listening, reading, writing and speaking, and after that you have an overall band score. And mostly what happens is, depending on what you are using the IELTS exam for, let's say you are using for a master's degree, PhD degree, or for job purpose. I know that most of the sometimes the master's degree in the UK, you need an overall score of maybe 7.0, and sometimes you need to get 7 in all, fields like in the listening and whatever. I'm not sure about that. I mean, if you're using it for work purpose, like into nursing, or like what I'm doing, yes, being a nurse, then I remember that back in the days, or back then, that was before, when I was coming here, you needed a score of 7 each in the 4 categories, and later on they brought it down to, I think it was still 7, but you could the writing, they reduced it to 6.5 because people were struggling to get a good score, all the 7 in writing. So let's go into it. What tips, what tricks and hacks did I use? So first of all, the study materials, I use less than a week, especially I use less than a week, that's 5 days to study these exams. And this was what I did. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched this lady on YouTube by I think her YouTube channel is Fast Track IELTS. She goes into details. She teaches you tips, tricks, and how to pass the exams. On the same YouTube channel, E2 language was also key for me. And a friend told me about this IELTS online, website where you can go and get materials, like good reputable materials to practice on a daily basis. So those were the 3 things I did. I watched a lot of English speaking movies. I listened to audios, like English speaking audios and all those things. I try to speak English always, just to obviously get a good score and practice more. So those were the materials, or how I prepared for my exams. And there are certain things you need to do. There are certain things you need to get under control before taking this test. One, anxiety. Anxiety is a key issue in taking these exams, because just bear in mind, people have invested in this exam so much, they've put their whole life on pause for these exams. So going to the exams room and taking these exams, you'll be anxious. You have a lot of questions or things going up here saying, what if I fail? What if I do this? What if I do? You have to find a way to get rid of that anxiety. You will be anxious, but manage it. How I managed mine was, I was like, bro, come on. What will happen will happen. Anxiety is not going to get me to where I want to be. Well, I tried, or I took it as I didn't care. I was just going in. I'll take these exams. And that helped me manage my anxiety. But you have to find a way to manage your anxiety. Another thing you have to do or get in control is timing. How to manage time, because the exams is all about time. If you're not able to manage time, then you're not going to finish your exams, and that brings us to anxiety, because if you're anxious, if you are stressed, you are not going to manage your time well, so you're going to finish late, or you're not going to finish your exams. So you have to manage those two things. So let's do the listening. So I had a good score in the listening. I had over 7, and the main issue with the listening was time, because the audio can be so fast that you will finish. You think that it finished within seconds. So I try to manage my time well. What did I do? I make sure that every passage or every topic that's going to come up, I try to read over and over, underline keywords, memorize it, get the concept of it. So once the discussion starts, once the audio start playing, I know what it, I get a fair idea about the whole topic, so I know what it's about. That was how I did it. I managed time and memorized and underlined and got a fair idea. That was what I did with the listening. Time is of the essence when it comes to listening. Reading. So reading, basically, I think 3 passages, and it's believed that the first passage is the easiest, so it gets harder as it moves on. So the last passage will be very difficult. So if that's the case, then why don't I score more marks on the first passage? That was what I did, and I divided my time very well, because with time, right? With time, what I did was I allocated 15 minutes for the first passage, 20 minutes, and 25 for the last passage. Someone will say, if the first passage is the easiest, why don't you allocate more time and score good marks there? That's true. So what I was doing is, if I know that, as time goes on, if I don't get an answer as I'm doing it, because time is of the essence again, I just skip. Make sure that I put the number down. I'll come back to you. Keep going. Then I come back to what I've missed out. You understand? So try to score as much points as you can from the first passage, the second passage, because the third passage, trust me, is going to be very, very difficult. So ideally, you have to allocate 20 minutes for each passage. But because the last one is going to be extra difficult, add a bit of add 5 minutes for the last passage, and reduce the rest, so that you can tackle that and finish it in time. That was what I did. So writing, let's look at writing. Hey, back in the days, I know when people were writing the IELTS test to move to UK, writing was the headache for a lot of people, because you are writing words down. It's difficult. Everyone has the way they will, put things. They would like to explain or convey the message in writing. So it depends. And people were falling short. It was 6.5, and back then the NMC UK needed 7.0. So people really struggled. So the NMC UK realized that let's bring the writing to 6.5. But I got a good score of 7.0 in the writing. And how did I do it? Madam, boss, I didn't stress at all. I think it's 2 tasks. Because I wrote this some time ago, months ago, and I just realized I have to bring it on my channel. So first of all, I make sure that with every task, I have how I structure my whole writing. So I have my introduction. How's my introduction going to be? Which paragraph is my introduction? Whatever. The body, how many paragraphs is the body going to contain? Yes. And the conclusion, how is it going to be like. So I get this framework, it's like, pillars for when you're building, pillars for the foundation or pillars for the structure. That was how I was doing it. So I made sure I had that in mind, or that plan. Write a bit of my points down, jot my point, like put it on the piece of paper, my paper, just to plan it, the ideas I'm going to convey. And another thing I did was to use my simple tenses, my simple English, my simple grammar. If you're someone who has command over the English language, if you have synonyms for every single word and you can replace every single word with another synonym, bro, then that's a credit to you. But if you're like me, who I hate stress in my life, so I'm going to go by the I am coming, I'm going, then use your simple tenses. Use like simple grammar, simple English. Just put it at the back of your mind that they are not scoring you for your vocabs and being able to use big English. No, they are scoring you on how well you can write and convey a message for someone to understand. So look at it from this point of view, that if you write this thing, if someone writes this to you and you read, will you understand what the message is? That's what you have to put at the back of your mind. If you will, then you're on the right course, like you're on the right track. So that's how I put it. So I make sure my punctuations are, spot on. Kwame is going to school. If I have my comma next, like I put a comma. If I have a full stop, like that was what I was doing. I made sure my spellings were on point. I made sure my punctuations is alright. I made sure that my simple grammar, simple English was key. And they give another task, or I think task 2 or something, where you have to describe, I think task 1, I don't remember, where you have to describe. They'll give you a graph, they'll give you a chart, they'll like just to describe what this is in the chart. As I said, get your introduction, get your body, and get your conclusion. Those things are key. See how you can combine another chart, how you can compare some, those charts. You don't have to write, you don't have to take chart 1 and just write about chart 1, chart 2. Maybe in let's say when the chart is given, maybe 1999 to 2010, and it's talking about, let's say, industrialization. How can you combine those two things and make it sound all right for the reader or the receiver of the letter? That is how you have to put it. How can you make it work? How can you bring those things together? This is what they are looking at. How you be able to understand, because on your day-to-day, writing skills, when you go to work and, you have to, write stuff, in nurse's notes, write, what do you do, research and everything. How will you be able to do that? So it's about how you can bring all these things that have been said on the graph together to make it sound and make it make sense, because it's not making sense on the graph. So let it make sense. That is it. If you think about it that way, then it's easy. That was how I thought about it, and I made it work, and I got a good score in my writing, as I said, 7.0. And the speaking, oh my god, the speaking, it was like I was an actor. One thing I've realized with the speaking is anxiety plays a key role. It's not like they can't speak or they can't put sentences together. But having an examiner sitting in front of you, looking at you, knowing it's an exam, it can cause this mental block and you won't be able to even say a word, or you'll be making mistakes. So that was what I realized with a lot of people because of the interactions I've had with people. That was what they said. But me, as soon as I got in, I was like, this is just another exam. So I finished the rest. It's just speaking. You, the examiner, I know you're not there. So I remember when they told me to describe an event I'll never forget. I try to lighten the room, make sure I get my anxiety out of the room, distress myself. So I started, and at some point I remember saying, so when I got to the event, do you know what caught my eye? I saw this beautiful woman, and I told myself, this is the event I need to be at. This was the event I wanted to be at. And I was like, now let's come back to what we were talking about. Just to lighten the room, just to get my stress out. And I saw him smiling, and I was like, I've got you. Now my stress is out. Speak to him, speak to her as if you're talking to another colleague. You're trying to explain something. Don't be worried about anything. If you get stuck, try to, as much as you can, bring something in, chip something in, and carry on with your message. Some people finish before the time that's allocated, but make sure you bring things, involve things that can make your time longer, or make your speaking time long, so that you don't fumble or you finish under what was given and you get a lower score. I had to speak, and I was speaking, and like the examiner was like, he was doing the because I was conveying a message, I was describing. So if you make it sound good, then he's going to listen, and is going to boost you up in you have this self-confidence. So in speaking, it's all about confidence, because face to face is not easy. Face to face interviews, face to face English exams or exams, it's not an easy thing. And that was how I got a good score, being a first time test taker and practicing under a week. If you're liking what I'm doing and you like this channel, please subscribe, and let's keep this community growing. This is your boy Kofi on Two Boys Media. Like and subscribe. I'm out.